an opportunity to win. If he plays poorly, we're probably not on that side of the ball. And so, but we're a very quarterback-based offense. And, and I think he understands that. And again, I think people see he does a lot of unspectacular things, too, during the game that really help us be successful.
When y'all left A&M, could you just sense that the offense was on the verge of breaking out?
Yeah, well, I think we left A&M, we're a young football team, and I thought, everybody obviously was down. I said, hey, there's an awful lot to play for left in the season, and we need to continue to get better. I think we have. I really feel every single week since the Texas A&M game, we've improved as a team. When you have a very young football team, you have to suffer on some of the injuries we've suffered to some older players, too. That's going to happen, and they got to believe that. And our guys have really believed that. And not that it was like trying to trick or a sales pitch, but I think they really got the grasp, and especially the older guys leading the way, of there's no panic, there's no issues. Everybody just get to practice, work harder, and we'll improve from one week to the next as a football team. And that's 4 straight games. I think we've played better for 4 consecutive weeks.
How much has Justin Malone worked at left tackle when Rufus went out?
Pretty minimal. But that's the one thing is he's an older guy who plays left guard, and he's a guy that really can play any position on the offensive line for us, and knows the calls, knows what to do, he got a couple reps at it here and there during the week.
How much thought did you put with Martinez or Joe Kell, or was it?
No. It was going to be it was Justin. We had a couple other options and some other juggling we could do, but at this point we're going to play Martinez.
Did that rain impact you guys offensively in the first half?
I don't know. 1 or 2 throws it certainly did when it was like ridiculous rain. But I think it's a little bit more mental than anything else on some of the guys. So I think I don't know that it affected us all that much. I think a couple of times when it was like you couldn't even see in front of your face, silly rain. That does, because it's just, everything's just a mess out there at that point. But overall, I don't know that it affected us huge. I think they're an excellent defense.
Zach has relied on Fred Ross a lot this year, but when he hits the run, it seems to come in big time. What are you seeing from that?
Well, I think, again, it's what they do. You're looking at, we're hitting Fred Ross, we're making some plays there, and then all of a sudden, once Fred Ross got going, one thing Dak's going to do is take what you give him. If they all of a sudden go in and started doubling Fred and leaving to run you one-on-one, and he's a tough matchup one-on-one in those situations. So, I think coming into the game, we thought it'd be a little bit more Fred Ross. I think last week was going to be a big Garunya game, and it was. This week coming in, we thought, what they're doing is going to be a little bit more Fred Ross, and at times, though, they just let Garunya one-on-one, and we made some good plays out of it.
Can you talk about the job the defensive tackles did, especially Chris Jones tonight?
I thought Chris played really. I got to watch the film, but to me, I felt his presence out there on the field, and thought he really played what could be one of the best games he's played so far. Which is great to see as him. Really, as he gets into the season again, playing much better than you do, and continue to develop and improve.
Do you think this is a game that Chris can build off of for the rest of the season?
I certainly hope so. I certainly expect that of him. I think he's got. I think he'll watch, and he's got potential. He's going to look and say, hey, these are things. When I'm playing, I can make things happen out there in the field, and I got to go play. If he wants to be an all-SEC type player, you got to go show that every single week.
How much did it help having Ashton back just to help with pass protection?
Well, certainly. It certainly helps a bunch because like what I was talking about, he's knows his assignment, made some big plays. A huge play getting the first down there later in the game. On a pass, on a reception, knew what you just see he's a veteran player. Knew where the first down marker was, drops his pads right at it. We get the first down by about 6 inches or a foot, but just knows that stuff as a veteran player is huge to have out there.
How much were you able to prepare without Malik in the league? Was it something that you were able to prepare for? Was it something that happened late?
I don't even remember. I like to say sometimes that I'm not all out of whack with the calendar playing on a Thursday night, especially after a bye week. I don't even know what happened when at this point. It kind of seemed during it happened in game prep, so it happened this week, so not a whole lot. It's kind of like every day something kept happening. Guys are getting rolled up or it's a really weird deal. really weird deal. You know, it's like we've had so many big injuries on the team going into this season, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, holy cow. But you know, hopefully those guys will be back. I don't think Dontavian won't be back this week. You know, hopefully Malik will be back this week.
How many linemen did you dress with Jenkins being out?
Well, we brought him thinking he might be able to play as a game time decision.
Yeah.
You know, and talking to the trainers, I said if you know, it's one of those we might be able to play some, but then it'll probably hurt him for next week. And you know, at that point, we kind of said let's just try to get through this one and get him healthy for next week. And you know, hopefully Rufus again. They didn't think it was anything big. He got dinged up in practice, so that's where you know we were kind of ready for some of that. He kind of re-dinged himself, but they don't think it's anything bad, you know. So that hopefully you have both of Rufus and Elton back for next week's game.
Missouri linebacker Pintrell Brothers came in losing after another big game. What makes him so tough?
Well, I think you know he's an excellent football player. You see that very physical, runs to the ball extremely well. Like has a good knack for getting off blocks. A couple times I thought we had some hits and we had him covered up. You know, and all of a sudden it's a 3-yard gain because he gets off the block and makes the play running it down in the perimeter. So, but I mean, you know, you look at them, they're an excellent defense front to back. I think they really are a tough defense, and he's a guy in the middle. If you're going to have a great defense, you're going to be really solid right through the middle. And you know, that guy in the middle and the linebacker position's got to be the guy.
How will you use these extra couple of days to get ready for Alabama?
I'm going to give our guys off and let them go rest. You know, I mean, again, this point of the season, we played a very physical game. I mean, the issue is we're not getting back till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They got class tomorrow morning. So, you know, but just to give them the opportunity to go to class tomorrow, finish that out, take a Saturday and just get to go rest. And for the coaches, we'll be back in the morning getting after it, putting this game behind us tomorrow and try to get a little jump start on Alabama for next week. And, you know, to be honest with you, I want to give the coaches some time. I'm gonna go hang out with my family a little bit too.
When Dak was he pulled out, or was the referee say it? Was that?
No, I pulled him out.
Okay.
You know, I mean, to me, he just, you know, I looked.
Yeah.
Because usually, I mean, he and I have such a great, the rapport on the field of like, you know, when you're play caller at the quarterback and you're, you know, I mean, you know, that look in the eye where you kind of. He already knows what I'm going to call, kind of, and we're all on the same page exactly what we want to do. You know, he looked just to me, just a little dazed. I wasn't sure what it was, or you know, I didn't know. It might have just been winded or something. Right. So, you know, we're not doing that. I mean, we got guys on scholarship too, so I want to make sure that I want to get him off the field and make sure he was healthy and let our trainers look at him. He came back and I thought he'd just stay out. I mean, I saw him run back on the field. I saw him go to our trainer, and then I saw him run back on the field. So I figured he must be good, or he conned them into telling him he was good or something like that.